All right, everybody, we are live. Can everybody see me and hear me? How we doing? And Big Patty Daddy, thank you for the $5. I think you got that in right before I turned the stream on. Don't delay this dono. LFG. Boys, this team is trending in the right direction at the right time. Don't let this offense fool you. We are good. Yeah, I think this team has every opportunity to rip off a postseason run here. They just have to take care of business. What's going on, everybody? Sorry about my cough. It will not leave. But we already got 70 people in here and we just started, so people already piling in. Okay, so I'm going to give more time for people to gather up. I need to post something in the Discord that I'm live. For some reason, the chat on Restream is not working. So I'm not going to be... If anybody comments on X or Facebook, I won't be able to see it. Yeah, I've always had a little bit of a cough, admittedly, but lately it feels like it's been a little bit worse than usual. Do you notice more viewers on wins and losses? Oh, absolutely. I absolutely get more viewers when we win than when we lose. And the Eagles just pulled ahead by 13 points on the Rams, so looking pretty good over here. I don't really think playing the Jets after the bye is going to change anything, though. I can't imagine the Jets finding very many solutions during the bye week. So I'm not too worried about that. What's up, everybody? Yeah, Restream's having some problems right now. I don't know what it is. Hmm. Do you believe any of this, Rogers leaving after this year? Well, I think the plan was always for him to be 2 years and out, but I always thought he was going to be 2 years and then retiring. Not retiring, not 2 years and then he goes to another team when he pretty clearly, to me, looks out of gas. Streamlabs. I mean, I used to use Streamlabs, but Restream has always worked for me. I don't know what's going on right now. Eagles are first round exits again. I don't think so, man. And I didn't really like the way they put together that team this offseason, but they are dominant with their running game in a way that really reduces the variance. Yeah, Sauce has not been good this year. Are you worried about the Jets at all? It's hard to be worried about the Jets. Like, they have it in them to be good, sure, I guess, but we have a big sample size this year of them being not just bad, but like really bad. Like they're the team that makes it through the first 25 minutes of a game with only like 7 passing yards. They do stuff like that. So it's hard for me to sit here and say that I'm worried about them. Now, that doesn't mean bad things can't happen, but to say that I'm worried about them, at that point, you may as well say you're worried about everybody. All right, we got over 100 people in here now. So welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Slide, that is really, really stupid way of looking at things. I have no idea why you're saying that, but that is not a savvy way to approach um, football. Thinking that the Saints are going to take care of the Rams, the Jets, those are two really bad teams. Is Kobe the future at strong safety? I think you probably have to assume that he is for now because we have enough problems this offseason without having to get another safety. I think you have to go with it for now. What's your game of the year pick? Probably Persona 3 Reload. Probably Persona 3 Reload. Favorite thing you liked about the game today? I mean, how could it be anything other than the defense? How could it be anything other than the pass rush? I think. Okay, Slide. I mean, I understand that you live in New York, but you should be able to put that to the side for a second and realize that there are more important things going on here than your personal hatred of somebody or something. And that's very clearly a drop. Oh, okay, no problem, Big Patty. You liked Persona 3 Reload over Metaphor? Yeah, I think I did. Both games are really fantastic, though. I think both games are phenomenal. Eagles cannot shake them, but still looking pretty good. Yeah, Tyrese Knight looks great. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that he would be good eventually. I'm shocked he's already this good. Chris, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. We have a real opportunity to pull ahead in the division with the Niners struggling and the Rams weak. I assume you meant to say Rams. Well, if the Eagles hold here, we are literally in first place. So, I mean, there's really not much nuance there. The issue is I kind of feel like it's going to come down to week 18 against the Rams. And we know what happens in LA when you play this Rams team. We know what happens in LA. Tyrese Knight looks better than Fred Warner. I don't know. I don't know if I go there, but Tyrese Knight looks really good. And he was a guy who I thought would be developmental, so I'm really happy with that. That is a happy accident. Hopefully Bradford's okay. McDonald already commented on that. He said basically it looks like he'll miss one game and then they'll see. But it does sound like he's going to miss the Jets game, which I'm not happy about, but it's not the end of the world. All right, since we got about 120 people in here, I'm going to go ahead and get started in a more official capacity. So Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to the stream tonight. We are going to be talking about this Cardinals Seahawks game that happened today. I'm going to go about until the end of Sunday Night Football here. Going to wrap up the stream about the end of Sunday Night Football. And there are a bunch of things we're going to try to do here. I'm going to start addressing the chat. I'm going to address as many comments as I can. Everybody, please like the stream if you haven't already. We have 28 likes and now about 140 people in the stream, it looks like. So if you haven't liked the stream, please do so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are 119 subscribers away from the end of month goal. And I'm trying to get there. We have a week, basically. We can do it. We've done that before. So if you haven't subbed up, please do so. If you want to go above and beyond that, you can become a channel member for $2, $5, or $15 a month. You get perks like badges and custom emojis. You get shouted out in video descriptions and video intros. You can donate via Super Chat, as 2 people already have in this stream. You can tip via the link near the top of the description. You can pledge to my Patreon. Link to the Patreon's in the description. And there are a couple other ways to do so as well. You will see those linked in the description. I'll be addressing as many comments as I can, although I may not be able to get to all of them. If you have a comment you really want me to get to, the best way to do it is to super chat it or tip it. It's guaranteed that I will see it and respond to it if you do that. And other than that, we're just going to have fun. Hey, Michael. What does Geno's next contract look like? You know, the way that he's playing, and you compare it to other quarterbacks, he probably could make a very compelling argument for like $50 million a year. I don't know if he's going to get $50 million a year because he's been extremely unlucky this year with some of these interceptions. Like, if he had a normal amount of luck this year, he'd probably have somewhere around 7 interceptions. I don't know if a number like that is going to hurt his bottom line, but it could. So I don't know. But in terms of the player that he is, I think he's worth $50 million. I'm hoping we can get a little bit less, but I also understand the reality of this situation. Nice play by Bond. Is Nwosu going to come back? It sounds like he has a chance to come back for the next Cardinals game. Okay, offensive holding. All right. How do you feel about Geno's pocket presence compared to other quarterbacks? I think it's pretty good. Nicholas. I don't know if it's like standout, but I don't have an issue with his pocket presence. Obviously, the team played well tonight, especially the defense. I think a lot of that was knowing how much this game meant. You think we can keep that energy rest of the year and into the playoffs? Well, eventually you're going to have a little bit of a letdown. But that doesn't mean you can't continue to play well. Maybe you won't play with your hair on fire like the defense did tonight, but you can play well. If Geno was younger, he could probably get $50 million, but he's a bit old. I mean, I don't know how much that's going to affect things, though. His age is not negatively affecting him, really. Like, is there the only thing that is really negatively affecting Geno in terms of age is probably the fact that he doesn't want to run and scramble because he doesn't want to get hurt because he's old. Wow, this Rams offensive line stinks. How good did Ernest play today? I'd say he played good. I mean, we stopped the run really well. These last 2 games with Geno, he's been great, but both picks are really bad. I know, Kyle. I know. And it sucks that he threw those 2 interceptions. But I can also understand that there's no way we're going to be able to do better this offseason. Like, what quarterback are you going to get this offseason that's better than Geno? And the field goal's no good, so everything's coming up Millhouse. Why does Geno try to play hero ball in the red zone? Well, part of it is probably because earlier in the year we had a terrible defense, and the only way we'd win is if the offense just detonated. So I think a part of it is just he's trying to score a touchdown every time because he feels like he knows his defense is just going to keep giving up points. But that's not the case anymore. The defense has massively improved over these last 3 games, and I think you need to just trust the defense. And in that situation, I mean, he could have maybe run for the first down. Probably not. But it's okay to kick a field goal. A month ago, it wasn't okay to kick a field goal because the defense was bad. What games do you predict we lose the rest of the year? I really don't like that Bears game. I'm going to be honest. I have a really bad feeling about that Bears game. It's on the road. The weather's going to be terrible. It's prime time. I have a really weird feeling about that Bears game. What are your thoughts on Grubb? I suspect that we can do better. I'm not a big fan right now. But I also think it's really, really hard for him to do anything with this offensive line. Lockett was calling for the ball. Well, Lockett was open. Geno just needed to throw it a little bit earlier. I don't no way Geno was going to score a touchdown on that play. Maybe he gets a first down, but you think Rodgers gets benched next week mid-game? They're not going to do that. Rodgers helps you sell tickets. Rodgers helps you get attention from the national media. And the backup is not going to be better, so what are you doing it for? I mean, Grubb is clearly handicapped. I think he did a really bad job today, though. Grubb, every time we were in third down early in the game, it felt like the Cardinals' blitzes just, we were completely unprepared for it. There were multiple times in this game where we were in field goal range on third down, and there was a sack where you need to come up with something where a sack is not even on the table so you can preserve the field goal opportunity. Well, Kyle, the Jets are probably going to give the Rams a free win no matter what. The Jets are bad. I swear I can call runner pass pre-snap with 75% accuracy. Yeah, that's a big thing too, because Budda Baker's doing that too. Budda Baker is predicting runner pass like every play. And he's getting it right. Driving me crazy. Yeah, if we play the Commanders in the playoffs, I think we win. The Commanders are super frauds. The Commanders are super fraudulent. They are absolute cheeks. Like, that Commanders team should be below 500. They won on a Hail Mary against the Bears, and they beat the Giants in week 2 because the Giants didn't have a kicker. Literally, that's what those 2 games came down to. Like, that is a fraud-ass team. They are bad. Witherspoon won the game today, forcing that desperate pick 6. You know, you could not say enough about how insane that play was, that he changed direction that quickly. Oh, A.J. Brown. The Eagles are winning that division. I early in the season was thinking about the Commanders too, because I'm not a big fan of the way this Eagles team was built. But they're good. I think I underestimated them a little bit. Like, I'm not a Saquon fan, but him plus this offensive line is pretty unstoppable. And Leonard Williams, that was one of the best games I've ever seen any defensive player play for the Seahawks in the last 10 years. Like, Leonard Williams could have easily had like 5 sacks in this game. If he was playing a pocket quarterback in this game, I think he would have had like 5 sacks. I could see the Steelers losing out. They still play the Browns, though, right? And they're not going to get swept by the Browns. Well, the Niners should just bench Purdy for the rest of the season. They're done. They're going to lose next week no matter what they do, and then it's over. Just let Purdy sit, pay him his money in the offseason, and then go into 2025. Yeah, Travel, and there is really something to be said about that. I don't know, but I feel like if Carroll was in that situation, he would have just kept playing Baker and Dodson and hope things get better. And if they don't get better, then he just like, oh well, nothing got better. Steelers have Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles. They're going to beat the Browns. They're not going to get swept by the Browns. And doesn't Burrow always play badly against the Steelers? And the Bengals can't even win games when Burrow plays great. So I don't know if they're going to lose out, but they could lose most of those games. Hawks got better from center retiring and Bradford going out injured kind of raises questions about some of their decisions. I don't think Bradford going out injured made them better. I mean, the offensive line still did not play that well today at all. They have Russ Wilson and Fields they can lose to whoever. Sure, but they're going to win a couple, even if they kind of have to luck up to do it. I think Bengals make playoffs. Don't the Bengals have to basically win out to make the playoffs? Did you see Dodson get a pick today? I heard about it. I didn't see it. Yeah, Purdy's probably going to hold out for a contract this offseason if they don't give it to him. Like, he's making peanuts next year. He's not going to be okay with that. All right. If the Eagles can score any points here, this game's pretty much over. How are we going to fix the line during the offseason? I think you got to figure out the Christian Haynes thing. Maybe you move him to center. You need to find a really good left guard, one way or the other, and then everything else will fall into place. Although I will admit that Lucas did not play very good today. He had 2 illegal formations, and I think he gave up some stuff in the passing game. So, I mean, with Lucas, it's very touch and go, right? We go week to week with Lucas. I think Olu struggled with some calls today, which led to a few of those sacks and pressures. Those Cardinals, they love to confuse the hell out of you pre-snap. And they did a good job of it. They are one of the worst teams in the league at generating pressure, but today they got quite a bit. Purdy is not that good. They should just draft another cheap quarterback. I agree, but they probably won't. Teams don't do that. How many times in NFL history has a team found a capable quarterback and then not kept them past their rookie deal? I can only think of one. I can only really think of one example of a team finding a good quarterback and then not keeping that quarterback past their rookie deal. Kirk Cousins, right? Like the Redskins got Kirk Cousins, and he made the playoffs for him. He put up great numbers, and they decided, we'll move on. We'll trade for Alex Smith or whatever it was they did. Other than that, you're not seeing teams do stuff like that because it's scary to do that. All right, here we go. Billy about to pack him away. What would you think of taking Kenneth Grant or Deion Walker in the first round? Man, how many times are we going to invest stuff on the defensive line, man? We spent all that money on Leonard Williams. We spent a first-round pick on Murphy. Like, are we really going to invest another top pick on a defensive lineman? I don't know. I don't know if that's what I would do. I don't hate it because I like both those players, but I do kind of feel like at a certain point you have to say you've invested enough in the defensive line. First and goal for the Eagles. The problem is, I don't think this draft is that good for offensive linemen, so we're going to need the right guy to fall to us. And it's possible that it doesn't happen. Like, what if we don't like Tyler Booker? What if we think Tyler Booker's not the right guy? There may not be another left guard that we can get in the first round that makes sense. If they don't draft guard in the first, some people around here are going to have a fit. Oh, I know, Jason. But we're going to need things to break our way for that to happen. Like, first round guards are not that common. Maybe Tyler Booker, maybe Jonas Savainia. Dude, Jalen Hurts keeps running QB power right into the Rams' defensive line. He's done it like 4 times today. Is JSN our number one option now? I mean, he'll be the most targeted player. Maybe. But I don't consider him to really be a number one receiver. He just doesn't have the speed. And I don't think the JSN stuff works nearly as well without a guy like a DK Metcalf pulling double teams. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Get OSU senior Donovan Jackson, OL, go Bucks, go Hawks. Donovan Jackson's good. I'm going to have to look into him a little bit more to see if I think he fits the scheme. But he is pretty good. Third down. I guess a field goal keeps it a 2-score game, but the Rams' offensive line is so bad, it's hard to imagine them dropping 16 points in 10 minutes. I'm good with keeping Reek on the roster and just not extending him. Yeah, I think that's the way I lean right now, too. I really don't want to extend Woolen and then have to extend Spoon. All right. Field goal it is. Thoughts on Malachi Starks? Oh, he's wonderful. He might be gone before we pick, if we're being honest. He's really good. I want to address interior O-line in free agency. There's some good options. Yeah, it's going to be super expensive, though. Okay, come on. Flag. Do it. Yeah, boy. Didn't all the other games go the way we wanted? We might have wanted the Vikings to lose. That's the only one I can think of. Thoughts on Olu today? Fine. Not anything super stand out, just kind of like fine. Capable. Fouls by both teams. Okay. PI. Personal foul on the off. Wow. Okay. Interesting. You think we are picking BPA again? Probably, but that's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Because BPA is so subjective. It doesn't really mean anything to people anymore, I feel like. I would throw the house at Trey Smith, 4 for 84. What about the guy on Jacksonville? I can't remember his name, but he's like a pretty pure left guard. I can't. Somebody in the chat's going to know who I'm talking about, but the Jacksonville guy. JSN will be paid a lot if he keeps it up. Well, we don't have to worry about that until next year. But yes, he'll get paid like Amon-Ra got paid, probably more. Oh, nope. All right. Well, field goal it is. Oh, Scherf. Yeah. Well, I mean, there there's certainly some subjectivity here. I really don't like Laken Tomlinson. I think he's bad. Zach Martin is a right guard and he's super washed up. I definitely don't want Zach Martin. I think Zach Martin would be Laken Tomlinson 2.0. And I think that Laken Tomlinson's been bad. I know some people disagree, but I'm not impressed with him at all. Yeah, I mean, Lockett's going to have another couple good games this year. He'll come through at some point. I don't know when. I don't know exactly how, but I think Lockett's going to have another couple good games here for us. And we'll be thankful that he's here. I want Haynes to be future left guard, center right guard. That may be where this ends up. I'm not completely done with Bradford yet either, by the way. Bradford is super talented. He just, something's not quite there yet. But it can get there. How is the 2025 wide receiver group for the draft? It's great. Maybe not as good as it was hyped to be, but it's a really good crop of receivers, I think. Is Lockett retiring after this year? He certainly should. I can't think of any reason why he should stick around to. Yeah. Yeah, we may lose to the Packers. We do get them at home, though. We do get the Packers at home. And they really have not looked that great this year overall. Some of it's because Love got hurt, but even in games with Love, they don't look like world beaters the way some people expected. Doesn't Lockett want to win a Super Bowl? Well, everybody wants to win a Super Bowl, but that doesn't mean he's going to take some tiny piddling contract to stick around on a roster and play a violent game for another couple of years just to try to get one. If you can't get one, you can't get one. Do we pick a nose tackle next draft or just address it in free agency? I don't know. That one's hard to read. Nose tackles are pretty rare. All right, do or die for the Rams coming up here. Thoughts on Byron Murphy so far? He's fine. I I'm not seeing what I thought I was going to see with him. One of his characteristics in college was he had an incredibly high pass rush win rate. He's really not adding much to the pass rush right now. Do we know when Nwosu can return? He can return at any time. He's just not ready. It sounds like he's got a chance to come back for the next Cardinals game, but that um that's just based off my feel and read of the situation. It's not based off of anything that the coaches have said because they haven't really said much of anything about him. Think the rain had a big effect late in the game? Well, oh, definitely. And that's when it really sucks to not be able to run the ball. Like, we can't run the ball, and we're trying to throw the ball with a rattled quarterback in a one-score game in bad weather. Like, it's tough. Yeah, the Vikings game's interesting. Like, the Vikings keep winning, but that's not a very good team for the last month. Like, the Vikings have been skating for a while now. They have not been good since Darisaw got hurt, and they're obviously going to make the playoffs at this point, but that is not a very good team. Do you think Tyler Lockett will leave this offseason and retire because now he's the third receiver on the team now? There's no way he's here next year unless he's playing on like a minimum contract, and I don't know why he would do that. I think he's going to retire, but maybe he just loves football so much he doesn't really care about anything else. But that doesn't seem to be Lockett, right? Hmm. Super Bowl prediction. I really hesitate to do this because of Hutchinson, but I feel like it's going to be the Lions. Do we get rid of Fant? I imagine so. I mean, you guys can see it. Lockett just really struggles to get open. There's really not a ton left that he can do. Hutch could be back for the Super Bowl. Yeah, but what's he going to do? Like, is he really going to go out there after 4 months and play well? Probably not. We're not making the Super Bowl, guys. Come on. Tone it down. If this Seahawks team makes the Super Bowl with this offensive line, then everything we think about football needs to be thrown out the door. You're not supposed to be able to make a Super Bowl with an offensive line this bad pretty much ever. Lockett's good for drawing flags, I guess. Yeah, he does that a little bit. Here we go. Big fourth down for the Rams. This is the game. And Stafford hits the out route. Do we think KC doesn't make it this year? Yeah, I mean, they're not good enough to make it. Maybe they do, but they shouldn't based on what we've seen from them. Oh yeah, Packers are probably the best team that we play for the rest of the year, Silver Ace. Who else would it be? Could playoff success in McDonald's first year set us up for disappointment next year? It shouldn't. Like, it's not like we have a bunch of old players on this team that are gonna diminish or leave next year. Who are our old players that are probably going to slip next year? Maybe Lockett, but he's not even going to be here probably. Maybe Leonard Williams, right? We've gotten nothing out of Nwosu, so not him. Tomlinson, but he's going to be gone and he's not good anyway. Like, who do we have that is going to slip? So I wouldn't think so. Yeah, we could win a playoff game. We could. It just depends on who we play and how it goes. All right, 3rd and 9 for the Rams. Delay, delay, delay. On delay. Come on, delay. Oh, bite me. That was a delay. Whatever. Do we draft for a wide receiver 3? I think we pretty much have to. We don't have our third receiver on the roster. Bobo sucks. I'm sorry, Bobo's bad at football. Wow, PI on the offense. Yeah, if Mike wins a playoff game with this team, then that's special. Even Sean McVay didn't win a playoff game in his rookie year. I'm gonna do one probably this week, Miles. I'm gonna do one for the Jets game in all likelihood. But I like watching the game on my own. Or well, I like watching the game with my family. Been over this before. Ooh, big sack. Fumble. Yeah, this sucker's over. Bobo's not really having a sophomore slump. Bobo just has like no talent. Bobo cannot get open. And Bobo has also forgotten how to block. And he's not really doing anything on special teams. Like he's not doing anything. Oh wow, they're actually gonna punt. That's funny. Wouldn't it be better to throw a Hail Mary and hope for a flag? Bobo is a fine wide receiver for. Right. Did we see how bad our defense was when our linebacker play was atrocious and people thought Mike was a bad hire? Grubb needs an average O-line. He can't even call half of his playbook, probably. Yeah, I'm down with that. I totally agree with that. I still don't think he did a good job today. And I think he could be doing a better job than he's doing right now, but you're right. Bobo. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. The meme was fun, but Bobo is not good at football. Like, I appreciate that everybody likes memes, but Bobo has no talent. And if you go into the season next year with him as your wide receiver 3, that's a disaster. Because Grubb loves his 3 receiver sets, and Bobo's going to play 50, 60 snaps a game, and he just can't get open. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't just throw up a Hail Mary, but maybe he's surrendering. Yeah, guys, I had Thanksgiving dinner tonight, okay? I did my Thanksgiving dinner. So, hear me out. Okay, 5 minutes left in the game. Yeah, I thought about that too, Mason. Cody White is a better blocker than Bobo now. Yeah, actually, that's probably true, T-Man. Yeah, I want players that are actually good, not players that are bad that we pretend are good because it's a meme. Finn's Packers isn't bad, yeah. Finn's Packers is not bad. What's the other game? It's Lions. Who are the Lions playing on Thanksgiving? Jacob, a lot of people are saying we'll get the third seed because we own the tiebreaker with the Falcons. Falcons didn't play this week, did they? Is it realistic to extend K9? I don't think we're extending K9. Lions, Bears? That's okay, I guess. Problem is that Bears' offensive line is so bad. So you're cool with DKJSN draft pick Cody White Bobo? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, honestly, look, K9's great. I'm not 100% sure that his lack of production today was all because of the offensive line. He does dance too much. I don't think we can afford to extend K9, guys. That's something you got to let go. We need to extend Cross for sure. Probably extend Mafe. We definitely need to extend Witherspoon. Eventually we're gonna have to extend Hall. Maybe Woolen, although at this point I don't really want to extend Woolen either. Other than penalties, how do you think Abe Lucas did his second game? It was okay. I thought he gave up some stuff, but I'd have to rewatch the game. Why not just franchise tag K9? Maybe. That may be the solution. But you also have to ask yourself, are you going to get value out of K9? Like, what is the point of having K9 if he's only getting 60 yards a game on 3 yards a carry because you can't block? Like, what's the point? What's the difference? You could have DJ Dallas as your number one running back and do that. So if you're not set up to benefit from it, what's the point? Like, look at Saquon. Like Saquon was still a really talented running back when he was on the Giants. But who cares? They couldn't win any games because they couldn't support him. Yeah, Carson might do a lot better behind this line. That's possible. Oh, come on. Hurts got that first down. The tush push never doesn't work. I mean, I think going for it here is okay, but if the Eagles don't get this, this is a disaster. Oh, I think they got him. Am I the only one disappointed with Hall and Mafe? Mafe, I kind of understand, but Hall, no. This is Hall's breakout year. He was nothing last year. You wouldn't expect a player to go from pure backup to superstar in one season. There are levels to this. Hall might take another big step up next year. Yeah, I'm a fan of Pritchett as well, but he can't tackle. And that may never get fixed. And that's what the problem with Woolen right now, right? Woolen can't tackle. All right, so if the game wasn't over before, it's certainly over now. Disappointed Mafe, I don't get that at all. I think some people thought maybe this would be the year he blossoms into like a star, and he's not a star. I'll say that. Right now, he doesn't look like he's a star. Hall, however, could turn into a star next year. Like, this isn't going to happen all at once, right? Why not extend Woolen? Because he's not that good. Like, he is such a liability in tackling and such a liability against the run. He can't be giving up anything in coverage to be viable. And the last few weeks, he's been a problem. He really hasn't been that good in coverage. Who plays tomorrow? What's the tomorrow game? Is that Bengals Ravens? That could be okay. I'm not disrespecting the roster, Big Patty. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Chargers Ravens. Okay. Not bad. Hey, Upo. Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind that McDonald is not. Ooh, Saquon. He's gone. Honestly, he should fall down at the one, but who can blame him? But anyway, McDonald is a guy who really wants his cornerbacks to be able to tackle. He might like Witherspoon less than the average coach. Like, again, in order to be viable, Woolen has to be ridiculously good in coverage to make up for his inability to tackle. And the last month, he has not been. He's given up 4 touchdowns in coverage. He's given up some big plays. Like, he's still probably a net positive player, but there are some real problems there that some people do not want to see. The good news is we have him on his rookie deal next year, so we can bring him back next year and see what he does for cheap. And if he does improve, then maybe we reconsider. But right now, I'm telling you, it's not been that great. Yeah. I'm really hoping that we beat the Vikings. If we beat the Vikings, I think we win the division. I'll concede that catch on Woolen today was a great play, but like you said, Brendan, when you're playing with these flaws, you can't give that stuff up. Yeah, the margin for error for Woolen is so thin. And some of these plays are bad. Like, some of these plays are bad. And some people don't want to have that conversation, but he is but he's a deeply flawed player that needs to be special to make up for his flaws in coverage, and it hasn't really happened. over the last month. It was happening for a while, but yeah, Pharaoh Brown needs to get out of here. He's not even a good blocker, is the thing. That's why he's here. He's not even a good blocker. Is depth for cornerback something we should address in the draft? I mean, I'm sure we will. Maybe we'll do it in UDFA. It's not that hard to find depth cornerbacks. Well, you say that, Ernest Jones, but the Vikings keep winning games. Favorite play of the game? My favorite play of the game, it was probably the JSN tunnel screen. I really like those tunnel screens. Those plays are fun. I love the tunnel screen. Yeah, Joby could be brought back as cornerback 3 at this point. He won't be that expensive. He's pretty good. Yeah, I don't have a big problem with Charbonnet generally. I don't have a problem with Charbonnet, but today, like, you got to pass protect, man. He looked awful in pass protection. Mhm. No, there's no way we're keeping Trey Brown. He can't even get on the field. That's definitely not true, Misfit. He had like almost 100 yards against the Dolphins, didn't he? Well, I think the tunnel scream's a nice counter to these blitzes. So, it's a pendulum. Man, Michael, I'm going to be so happy if Shanahan's done. If the Niners are stupid enough to fire Shanahan, I will be so. You guys have no idea. Who are they going to get? Robert Saleh? And Robert Saleh is a pretty good coach, but what's he going to do with that team? What is Robert Saleh going to do to make that team a contender the way it was with Shanahan year after year after year? What do we do with McIntosh? Apparently nothing. I don't really know what else to say about it, but there are some guys on this team that I liked as developmental pieces, but we just didn't develop them at all. McIntosh, Mike Morris, Miles Adams. How do you think Haynes did today? He did pretty good. Haynes did pretty good. I'm not upset about anything that Haynes did. All right, guys, we just hit the 2-minute warning in the Sunday night game. So after this game is over, I'm going to be getting out of here. And I will probably stream on Twitch tonight. I'm going to do more Metaphor, but I'm not 100% sure. I may not. But either way, video's out tomorrow. And yeah, it's going to be a good week. What's with Geno throwing a dumb interception every single game to almost kill the whole game for us? Well, he's done it 2 games in a row. That's a much smaller sample size than you're acting like it is. Y2K, thank you for the member message. Can you go over the difference on different screens? What do you mean? Well, you have like the bubble screen. The bubble screen is where the receiver kind of loops backwards away from the line of scrimmage, right? and then catches the ball. Like he'll come out of his stance at the line of scrimmage, come back like a yard behind a blocker typically and catch it. You have the tunnel screen, which is a lot like the bubble screen, except you're going forward. Like you saw the tunnel screen today with JSN, right? Like JSN, he loops backwards and then he darts forward at the last second. He like sells the bubble screen. What's another type of screen? Like you have, the check down, right? Is that a screen? I don't know if that really counts as like a screen. You have check downs, which is just quite simply you throw it to a running back in the flat or right in front of you. Oh, Cooper Kupp touchdown. Somebody got fantasy points. What's another type of screen? I guess there's like the shovel pass, right? Is Metaphor good? It's excellent. Metaphor is one of the best games I've played in a while. Metaphor is superb. Tight end screen, yeah. Quick takes after this win. Mike McDonald's the real deal. That's really the quickest, best take I have. Flanker screen. I don't know if you see that often anymore. Is Tyrod Taylor starting against us? I doubt it. The Jets had a bye week this week, right? Throwback screen. Yeah, that's a good one. Those are fun when they're well blocked. That's what people have said. I have been hoping it will get a Black Friday sale. I think it's on sale now. I heard that it was. Maybe it's only on sale on Steam, though. But I think it's on sale now in some capacity. A flanker is just a wide receiver that's lined up off the line of scrimmage, so it's like a bubble screen, basically, right? All right. Onside kick. And that should be a flag on the Eagles guy. He intentionally batted the ball out of bounds. You can't do that. Not that it matters. How did you feel about the timeout before the pick six? I mean, I understood why Mike did it, but it was obviously a disaster in the moment. Arizona plays Minnesota. Okay. Okay. That's a risky proposition. The Rams are probably going to beat the Saints. I don't think the Saints are good. San Fran's toast, though. Honestly, San Fran should just rest Purdy for the rest of the season. They're done. I will admit that some of the stuff that Metaphor removed from the game compared to Persona, I do miss. I do miss the dating simulator. I do miss the they have a social simulator in Metaphor, but it's not quite as in depth as Persona. I do miss it a little bit. But what they've done and what they've added is still excellent. Y2K, thank you for the $5 super chat. I successfully traded away everyone. Still have Bowers, JSN, Metcalf, Burrow, and Lawrence, 2 quarterback dynasty. I'm up to 7 first picks next year. Next 3 years, 5 seconds. Are you playing in a league with a bunch of doofuses? That sounds like the league is kind of That sounds like you're in a league full of some pretty bad players that don't really understand what the heck to do. By the way, guys, we're up to about 60 likes right now. Please keep liking the stream if you haven't already. We are winding down here. We're going to be done in a couple minutes. And then I'll be getting out of here, and I'll be seeing you guys either later tonight on Twitch, or maybe I'll tap out of Twitch tonight. I'm not sure. Because Snacks is not going to be around in all likelihood, so we'll see. And I wanted to talk about Gladiator 2 on stream, but I don't want to do it without him there. Because I don't want to have to say everything twice. But if one more enemy uses Soul Scream, I'm in a dungeon right now where if you have a magic user in your party, the enemies just beat the crap out of you because the presence of a magic user makes them mad. And it's really annoying because I built my MC to be a magic user. So he's completely useless in this dungeon unless I just want to open myself up to get absolutely destroyed. Yeah, I played all the mainline Persona games, King Zoa. So, I feel you. All right. Eagles win, so we got a good Sunday, man. And tomorrow's game, like, we don't really care at all. Y2K, thank you for the $5. I traded all my dudes to the top 3 teams. If they don't trade for a top running back, one of the others will. Are the other owners, like, mad at you for doing that? Isn't that considered to be kind of like foul play? Where you offload things to the contenders before the deadline? I know some owners will get mad at people for that. But if you can get away with it, you can get away with it. Gladiator 2 story was inconsistent and was just nostalgia bait. I don't think it was inconsistent. I just don't think it hits very hard, you know? I just don't think it carries the emotional weight. Maybe that's mostly because of the performances, but I didn't feel very much emotional weight from it compared to the first one, which I rewatched the first Gladiator earlier this week. So I have a pretty strong frame of reference. But I don't know if I thought it was inconsistent. The nostalgia bait, yeah, definitely. There's definitely truth to that. I don't want to spoil, but I don't like that he switched up on what he wanted quick. Have you played Dragon Age Inquisition? No, the only Dragon Age game I played is Origins, which was a great game. But I have heard that all the other Dragon Age games are not particularly compelling, so I haven't played any of them, no. I actually did kind of like in Gladiator 2 how they kind of built on your expectations from the original, and then kind of went off into a different direction with it. Like, you'll see characters and you'll see story beats in Gladiator 2 that make you think you know what's going to happen next, and then things, like, get turned on their head. Would you consider trading for Christian Watson in the offseason for, like, a 4th-round pick? He seems out of favor in Green Bay. Would you immediately have to turn around and pay him a bunch of money? If so, I don't think you can do it. If not, then maybe. Yeah, the first Gladiator is an all-timer. The only thing I would like on Metaphor is if they added a quick button where you could recall what intel told you about dungeons you're in. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I really like how they don't make you do the fights against weak enemies. They just give you a free win as long as you sneak up on them. That's such a time saver. General thoughts on our free agent signings? Honestly, the free agent signings have been pretty awful, right? Pharaoh Brown, Jerome Baker, Tyrell Dodson. They've been pretty bad. I've heard that Dragon Age 2 is terrible, and Inquisition was okay, and the Veil Guard is terrible. That's what I've heard, but I mean, I haven't even played Mass Effect 3 yet, and I still want to, so I'm way behind on this, so I don't have time for Dragon Age. Like, Metaphor is going to end up taking like 100 hours for me. Y2K, thank you for the $2. Fallout 2 one day, it'll happen, it's amazing. Well, I still have it. But I got so much stuff I got to get through. And a lot of these games I play, unfortunately, are long. Like, Metaphor is going to be a game that I end up spending, like, 80 hours in. Steven, thank you for the $10. This might already been said, but if Geno can take a step back from Hero Ball, rely on the D to hold up their end, we could really be putting together some serious games. Just got here, though. Yeah, it really, really sucks that we can't run the ball because we have good running backs. We have some of the better running backs in the league. We have really special running backs, and we can't run the ball. So everything offensively is on Geno's shoulders. Thank you, Shondo. I appreciate that. Dragon Age Veilguard by far is the best combat of all the Dragon Ages. I don't know why people think it's bad. I was watching somebody stream a little bit of it. I don't know. It didn't sway me one way or the other. Like, Geno Smith is a quarterback that really should have a good running game behind him, and it really sucks that he just doesn't. Yeah, I barely have time to play the games I want to play. I don't have time to play a game that I'm ambivalent on, like the Veil Guard. Well, we can't run outside either, CD Woods. When we run outside, somebody holds. I don't really look at PFF stuff until the next day. Sometimes you get leaks, but I don't really look at the leaks. Y2K, thank you for the $2. How does Abe Lucas look 2 games in? I'm pretty happy. I don't think he was very good today, but I'm not. It's still better than what we had before, and it's still workable. I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled tomorrow. I had that done like 15 years ago. It's not fun, but it was fun to get to sit around and do nothing for like a week. Because when that happened, I was, like 19 or something. And when you're 19, you always have to do stuff, right? You're going to college. Sometimes people have jobs. You're doing stuff. So getting to sit around for a week and do nothing but eat soft food and watch movies was fun. Y2K, thank you for the $2. I would like to see some draw play runs. I feel like we do a lot of draw play runs. I feel like that's most of our running game because we run out of shotgun most of the time. We don't get under center enough. I don't know if Olu's improving. We need to see a little bit more, but I don't mind what I've seen from him so far. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to go and get out of here. I like watching the 5th quarter after Seahawks wins, and the 5th quarter is about to start. Like I said, I might stream on Twitch tonight. I might not. If Snacks joins me on the call, I'll probably be talking about Gladiator 2. So if that ends up happening, then if you want to see Gladiator 2 and you haven't yet and you don't want to get spoiled, then maybe don't come by. And yeah. If you don't care, or you've already seen it or whatever, come on by. And if I don't stream, then I will see you guys tomorrow. Plenty of videos coming out. I just had minor back surgery. You know, I've never had surgery, and I've never broken a bone. I wonder what it's going to be like, because eventually at some point in my life, I probably will need some kind of surgery. It's really hard to go through life without ever having any kind of surgery. I wonder what it's going to be like. All right. We ended up going about an hour 15, pretty good. See you guys later on. Everyone have a good night. We're 6-5. Life is good.